sort of interfacing layer with your terminal and runs different implementations from command line arguments, running scripts, generating scripts, and then making Git push and pull. You can even integrate Claude code with your Git PRDs and run code reviews with it. So what my SuperClaude, okay, before I even jump into SuperClaude, anyone actually have experience like customizing Claude code with like agent MDs, Claude MDs, and custom instructions, or telling it to having instructions to run very specific command, or you can use MCP servers? Yeah, so from a very high level, what my SuperClaude does is it's my own customization for how it interfaces from the SuperClaude CLI with the method programming instructions, with the command parser, with my own flag commands, and also command registry to execute MCP servers, do model routing with the MCP, have an agentic loop that iteratively does quality scoring of what I've been implementing and what I've been implementing. And it also has an internal system for managing Git worksheets. Does anyone know what a Git worksheet is? It's essentially just a branch that lets you copy your specific parts of your Codeex into a separate directory, such that you can run multiple features and implement multiple features at the same time. I also integrated into my agentic loop task tools and like expert agents to, like, say, do DevOps, do security, performance optimization with my Git worksheet, such that I'm basically implementing like n number of features at the same time, all in my same computer across different terminals. So my SuperClaude framework, it has 22 main / commands. It's integrated with Zen MCP, which provides you multiple model routers integrated directly into Claude code. Say you want to use Grok 4, you want to use Claude, you want to use OGP5, you want to use Gemini. It has this concept mechanism where it runs planning and inference on what your prompts want to do, and gives a scoring and compares which model, what each model agrees on and doesn't agree on. It also has like sequential thinking and chain of thoughts embedded for each of these models. Each can provide an API. Root MCP from Composio. Maybe I should explain those later. So I also briefly talked about, say, offline orchestration with my class tools, with my different expert agents. It has my own custom guardrails that I've implemented, and also evidence-based requirements that I try to have programmatic enforcement of whatever Claude code spits out upon it that is actually implemented. So there's that, from my experience, Claude code has sometimes given me like, oh, I implemented this feature, but it's just still another feature, and then it would mock those features to just give a hard-coded response. To avoid that, I have some programmatic evidence-based guardrails. So that's really the high level. So yes, how like from a user or like from a developer experience, what you do with Claude code is you have a / command. Through that / command, it triggers the different method programming instruction sets, MD files, and delegates, say, to run PyTests, to run a specific MCP server, or run a specific set of customized commands, or you can pull up Git worksheets and run different code different features concurrently. Then there's also like the quality score gates for the agentic loop with my use loop command, and then there's like I've implemented some SQLite context source to say keep long horizon implementation for my SuperClaude to reference from. So yes, my agent system has 54 agents and 106 extended agents that's being dragged into the context silos. So one for like Rust, one for Golang, one for JavaScript, one for mobile dev. I have all those set up. And this is like the general user pipeline. Current limitations is they usually need to provide their own API keys. Like there's a change of plan synthesis on some guidance under SuperClaude implementation and for CLI staging. So these are some roadmap features for like deployment and documentation lookup. I think I'm used to implement deep with the MCP, where the MCP server for most documentation online, sort of a library of documentation. I figured to get rid of the MCP instead of use root from Composio, because Composio can explain later. But these are some current limitations. I think the biggest one is the object-oriented plans sort of sub-guidance. The link to the feed a bit there to set up better guardrails. Yes, so the architecture overview, there's a command parser. It parses incoming directives with my slash commands and triggers the interrupt prompt and interrupt sets. I have built-in command executors that orchestrates, say, MCP calls or even sub-processes with command line calls. Say I want to use Claude code and have Claude code call Codeex to implement stuff. This is one of the command executors examples. There's the agent loader that I briefly described, where if you call a back command, it might trigger a meta programming and being instructed set to say follow a set of instructions and how you can how Claude code can follow through say implementing a mobile app. What's the best practices? The command registry is just a registry of all my slash commands. So this is sort of a high-level overview. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. I think just even last night I've been trying to integrate Claude code to do the planning with all the MCP servers that have access to. Surfing the web, with browser use agents, with computer use agents. This slide here is built by Claude code. It sucks. But it's basically like telling you go to my LinkedIn, go to my GitHub, build me a slideshow for 7 slides, and it's not that great. But the interesting part here is that because Claude code tends to hallucinate and sort of build these features of skeleton code, but it says it thinks it's implemented it, acts all those test cases, but it's just hard responses. I found that like using Codeex it doesn't do that much and it doesn't hallucinate as much. So what if I could get Claude code to do the planning, searching through the web, searching through the desktop with your files, come up with a good plan, and then use Codeex for implementation as a Claude code call and thought process. Codeex actually like does build tests, runs tests, and like flows through your file system in your code project, and actually hallucinates less. So that's one of the things about this fast Codeex command, from command parsing of my slash command slash colon implement dash Codeex. It registers to the correct playbook and markdown instruction set, and then executes the process we call Codeex CLI to implement stuff for my client. The differentiating thing here is like Codeex is not actually great at planning. It doesn't really brainstorm well for different things. So this is what I'm trying to integrate. Claude code will also handle all this commands, come up with a good plan, and then use Codeex to implement it and then solve it. So this is sort of like a sample use case of command pipeline slash command to the fast Codeex code. Yes, I mentioned my 15 core agents from core development, infrastructure, quality, security language, extended personas, the instructions that I talked about that gets triggered into the context for the application I'm doing. So total, I have 131 extended agents that gets called in with the slash command for the webhook. Which is interesting. I still have to test everything out whether it's actually properly or not, of course. Here is a rundown of the key MCP servers that, other than my 131 expert agents in my SuperClaude framework. So Zen integration is with Zen MCP. I mentioned that it has this multiple model assessment mechanism as well as chain of common and reviewing of your code as an MCP server. Root MCP is by Composio. It's sort of like a single MCP server that offers you 500 plus integrations with different applications. So like Google Calendar, Gmail, Linear, Quibbase, even Google Meets, and maybe finding some tool that you can go on and tell Claude to like record and listen to your meetings and stuff. Browser MCP, the difference between browser MCP, browser-based, or like browser use is browser MCP has an extension on your native your browser, such that with that extension, that interface your Claude code, like a use agents can interface with your extension, such that whatever you do on your browser, Claude code natively has an interface point with your browser and knows exactly what you're doing on the browser. You don't, unlike browser-based where it has its own sort of remote servers, you have to go in, you have to send the credentials and authentication and everything. Say you're searching for something here, or you want to test your account locally, test your mobile or whatever, maybe on the desktop, or you have some confidential documents on your browser that you can use browser MCP and give with the extension installed, natively have Claude interface with it, and like just tell it to summarize everything and sign my papers and put it on Google Calendar, set up this meeting. So one thing, these are the three main MCP servers I use. Oh right, you mentioned like got rid of with the MCP with all the documentation libraries it has, right? So root MCP, with the 500 different applications and features it has, and also the web search capabilities that I have with browser MCP, there's no reason for me to use with the MCP in that sense. So each of these MCPs in Claude code, it actually takes a context window. And with one context window or anything up, it actually is more prone to hallucinate and it's less performant. Especially when you reach that compact need for compacting your Claude code. The thing it summarizes becomes almost virtually useless. So with MCPs, with anything with Claude code or Composio, just try to cut down your MCP context. Or you can context that as much as possible. Let's say it has more context window to perform more complex tasks, especially when you need more chain of copies. Yes. So the policy monitoring stack, I mentioned about my agent loop that does the description policy score of whatever Claude code implements. It looks for correctness, completeness, scalability, security, and performance scalability, testability. A performance monitor is based off report timers and resource usage that's logged into an SQLite local database with JSON syncs. And I also have registry guardrails with the registry manager webhook call that writes change plans into a repo and generates state snapshots and commands tag requires evidence failed and noted if it is detected. So this is some of the guardrails that I still have to extensively test myself. But that's really the high-level architecture. To use it, you just install Python 3.8 or more. You clone my repository, you create your own virtual environment, you pip install bashe.dev, and then you should come in that environment that you started with the document. Then check out the version, it should be like version 6 alpha. And then you would just do SuperClaude install to install the framework with your SuperClaude. And once you just open SuperClaude, it should have all your MCP servers, all the slash commands you can use native SuperClaude. and hopefully even like all Codeex from SuperClaude. So yeah, one caveat about my SuperClaude framework is actually branched off. So this is my repository. It's an open source framework that I have built. So please, if you find this, do star my repo. If you're so acquainted, sponsored my open source project. But this is actually a branched off version from another I actually like built this off of this other open source project called actually the SuperClaude form, literally called the SuperClaude framework. And how I built this is literally started Claude Code, installed SuperClaude framework from their organization, and then started customizing it to a point that I removed all their MCP servers, put it my 121 expert agents, and then put it in my own agentic loop, and then put it in my own guardrails and integrated Codeex with Claude Code, so that it's a completely different thing now. For them, they only have 16 agents. I have 54 agents, but like 121 extended agents. They have like 8 MCP servers, which is crazy. I only have 3, and I figured, like, say here, Avali, Playwright, Context 7, from DevTools, MCPs. I could literally just do it through MCP with 100 integrations, which lessens the context window a lot. And here they don't support like multiple model API routing and the consensus mechanism between the different models. So you have no way to really, well, you have a way with multiple terminals to call the API and like do it manually. And this is root from Composio. It's like all-in-one integration for all MCP servers and apps. Like, I have Google Slides integrated. I can literally go to my terminal and like, here's my LinkedIn. Build 7 slides for me about my LinkedIn. And we go and do it. And on Twitter, maybe like I could tell Claude Code, write me a script that posts Sam's AI girlfriend about on my Twitter posts every other hour. Go do it. Like on the marketplace. Right now it's free. There's no subscription, but like Notion, Slack, Linear, YouTube, Superbase, Sentry, Miro. You literally just feel like also a business developer, business analyst, expert agents, and a project manager. I just didn't give it these tools. It would just like go and search all the stuff for me and build the entire project like proposal business plan. And I'm like, dump it into the VC stuff. So these are the kind of things. Eventually, I could like be a one-man company. Like I could like run Claude Code to one guy to be like the business analyst, another guy to be the product manager, another guy to be a tennis developer, another guy to be another guy to be like a system, another guy to be an engineer. And then like I'll be like sitting in front of like 3 monitors with 8 different terminals on, and then observing like my centralized Claude Code spinning up Codeex terminals and other Claude Code to like run my own one-man department of developer teams, and just like going onto the browser, going onto my desktop, building shit as it goes, and like literally seeing an entire visualized like civilization pop up in my computer.
Yeah, you gotta be your customers too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're little leagues.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, these are the kind of things I've been playing around with. Maybe I should like do it again.
And imagine.
Maybe that's what you do. Like go on the internet and search for oh yeah.
More instances, man.
Like,
Like,
the other day, you saw 6.
yeah, but doesn't it get too busy? Like,
You just started to orchestrate every terminal.
but it's like you can only see like.
But that's why you have all the screens.
I mean, I usually have 3, try to have not 3 open on this.
3 instances.
Like, not necessarily AI instances, but like just different applications I use. On the same, like, you break into thirds or quarters.
So the delegate command here tells Claude Code to delegate the correct expert agents to use. App here is sort of just execute complex tasks with intelligent workflow management delegation. Then I'm just telling them MCP to use file finding and the task management, or like n number of multi-turn tasks. It would say sort of a local reporting of what those tasks are, and check them off one by one once it's completed. Use MCP to search the internet for sponsorship grants. Grants for my code. Yeah. Let's try. Good. Let's just search and see what it costs.
I mean, there,
Company sponsored program, that's so it's searching the web for sponsorship program and grants, connecting us, and and I have this for apps.
zoom in. Command plus.
Command plus.
There we go.
So it converted as one after the web search tools. Browser. Then it's going to search for tech companies, sponsorship programs.
It's connected to your browser right now.
It's connected to
Through the extension. With the extension we're talking about?
No. This is connected directly to MCP Composio that has web search capability.
Okay.
So it's looking for tech company sponsored programs. But yeah, remember the marketplace that I showed you?
For respondents. Or what?
This one. This is where you can also think of like the all-in-one MCP server.
Yeah, that's cool. The deep root for everything.
Like literally go to Google Maps, go to the take screenshots, and
So when you put this in Cloud, though, it has kind of the context of like what it can be, right? And
it has context for it.
So it's like you can use this, you can use this, you can use this, and it like
It just
makes this list of things you use it for.
Yeah.
And it works.
It works. I mean, I showed you guys it made the slides show for me. It directly connected to Google Slides. It made the slideshow and put it made some several slides.
That is actually really cool. So we remember like a couple months ago we were using this SAS for that. What was it?
Linear?
No, not linear. Remember creating presentation with this
Gamma?
Gamma, yeah. Now you just do that.
I was thinking whether there's Gamma integration. It's like, come on, go, hit the slide, go!
It does,
If not, there's probably someone that would make one.
Oops, I maxed out.
how often do you have to run packs?
Oh,
How often do you have to run?
I avoid happening.
How do you avoid it though? It's like,
Check context. Let me show you how you check context.
so you can start instance when it's time for pack instead of pack or what?
I can fix it out on my game.
So yeah, start a new concept.
So here, if you type in slash context, you can see the percentage. So, like with my, maybe get something over here. That makes more sense. So currently, I'm using Claude Opus 4.1 in my Claude instance. Already loading my instruction set of my MCP servers. 29% of the context that I've already used. 10% come from my MCP tools, and 9% comes from my custom memory file within my instruction sets. You can see that like the breakup of the number of tokens. Browser MCP not much. Root MCP not that much. Like the search tools in GradePlan has like 1K tokens, and but then I probably just. But yeah, this is how you see the breakdown of how when you using my SuperClaude framework, how much tokens being used and how you want to really optimize for less tokens in your context window. And that's why like, for my extended agents, I have a slash command that's be able to parse the content prompt, follow the instruction, they set an agent instruction set into the context window on demand, which is only great. This actually the other day, working on this company, I optimized like computer animations from like 5 seconds with a GPU for one animation to 70 animations in 0.2 seconds without a GPU. Literally just part of the optimization with like animation framework, runtime C++. And then I would allow you to integrate with GPU to probably take another X or optimization seat. So yeah, these are, oh, it's done. A little bit of we found Linux Foundation, TechSoup.org, event sponsorships on GitHub, and database. What do you guys want to do with my research?
Have to go
Why?
apply. That's good. No, you probably have it.
Maybe I call like give it a context.
If you have it connected to your extension on your browser, you have it make a link for post or about those comments.
Yeah.
Is it able to create, are you able to have next slides and make a presentation about what Code&Coffee does?
I'm going to make the useful computer. Good stuff. A few data for those further action tools, group LCD, gather information about what follow locally on the website, text my Twitter account, and tweet. Okay. Maybe like a job application.
Okay, pretty, big job.
So this, like the SuperClaude framework and whatnot, is actually the basis of sort of what my current company that I'm working in, so called Semantic. It's backed by an A16C venture capital. They're literally building an interface for computers and value agents. Think about Lily. It hears you, sees you, then looks and looks at your screen, and then based off those inference and user long user preferences, it infer what you want to do, and then just go do it. Like go to the browser, go to the integration apps, like do an Excel analysis for you, make meetings, book some dinners, or bake, and oh, nice.
It seems like Twitter. Like,
what they're building is more so like a desktop application that has context over your computer and it just shows those tasks for you. I also do have something similar with Codeex. I was able to sort of make a wrapper for to have Codeex using MCP and also an extension for ZenMCP such that I could have also the consensus mechanism like from Claude, Gemini, and on Codeex, and also have Codeex have all the tools they need to sort of collect everything, like going under do stuff. So I guess that's also a presentation of the day. Because I have a GitHub repository for that, how to like integrate through with Codex. But it's in the process of being very finished. Like I know it.
probably five, people who like.
Oh yeah. Reply to Slack, reply to WhatsApp, Telegram, yeah. Go. There's no problem. It's like you just have to authorize the MCP to have interaction with those applications, and then just follow a lot of code. It's like, oh, great application is like say good morning and say good night to my girlfriend every time. Like, so you want to make a extra agent, which like every morning at 8 a.m. in the morning, like, good morning.
Which are your friends at birthdays as well?
Exactly.
Exactly. If anyone get monetized, anyone reply on you, then reply immediately or like give me this.
It depends on the inference time of your command on code. The great thing about it is because code operates on the terminal, like with just this command, TUI interfacing with your command line. So it has from the computer level, the operating system level, to the browser level, to the application level. So there's no blocking what it can and cannot do, other than maybe like going down to the firmware and probably not.
Do you guys agree other further with
Yeah, that's exactly how I built my SuperClaude. I just put someone else's SuperClaude, right? And then told Claude Code to build it into my SuperClaude. And then I kept adding my own MCPs, my own expert agents, my own guardrails, my own configuration, my own agent food. And I think now that I have it integrated with like GitHub, I could like code on GitHub. like maybe you already said it. So this is my repository. Do give it a star, and if you're so inclined to sponsor, this is an open source project. It's public. You can just take it and use it and whatever. Yeah.
So, Scott, you could put the link to your repo in the Discord, and maybe on GitHub.
It's already on Meetup, right? Or this thing.
Oh, it is? Okay, that's good.
Going to do a super Codex thing next time.
Yeah, I actually heard about what I can do this week, so.
Yeah.
Google has one. Gemini, right?
Yeah.
In Gemini CLI, yes.
No, I'm telling you,
Yeah, we had a number of.
No?
Yeah, we took a master help. Yeah. So it will be first. Just for like working plan. Plan for before like I don't know. It's like a 30-minute walk. The I sort of day. Try out. It's Wait, I just there's an organization. So